to piano lesson number 33. Today I'm going to be talking about something called the Alberti Bass pattern or chord thing, you don't want to call it, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much, it's a technique usually used in accompaniment. You'll see it a lot in classical music, and basically a guy named Domino or Domine, something that starts with D, Alberti actually used this a lot. He was pretty much obsessed with it. But he actually didn't invent the pattern, that's the funny thing. So today I'm going to show you how to do it, how to recognize it. You might have seen it before, and you might have not known that it actually had a name, and then someone would say, hey, can you play that Alberti Bass pattern for me? And you're like, what? Eh? What? And then they're like, are you really a musician? Because every serious musician should know what an Alberti Bass pattern is. It's quite, it's a nice little thing, and I'm sure you've heard it before. Mozart used it, Beethoven used it. I'm going to give you an example here. The third movement to the Pathetique Sonata by Beethoven. I just happen to have the sheet music handy, so I'll use that today. Okay, so basically this Alberti guy, whatever his name was, Domino Alberto, he was born in 1710, I think, and died in 1740. Something like that, so he only lived like 30 years. I wonder if he got married. Whatever. Don't actually know that much about him. But anyway, so he basically was obsessed with it, and I think he was partly, I'm not sure, I didn't actually look too much into this, but and I never really had to learn much about it in history, but I'm guessing that basically because he used this so much that other composers took note of it and then they started using it as well. But I could be totally wrong because I didn't do my research and I was too lazy. But that's not really important how it became popular, it just is. Okay? So it's something you can kind of have fun with actually, because you can do a whole bunch of something like that. I just did a really bad play of it, but whatever. I obviously don't really care. I'm just having fun, because you guys are not paying me to do this. I'm doing it for my own fun and trying to make you laugh and, you know, teach you a couple things at the same time. Piano should be fun and easy. So, getting onto that, I guess we can start with it. So, I'll just grab the camera from here. Okay. So, first of all, what is an Alberti Bass pattern? So, an Alberti Bass pattern is basically a solid chord. So, say we have C major chord, for example. So I'm hitting C, E, and G, all down together. So, that's kind of plain. What can I do to make that more interesting? Because I mean, if you have a piece and you're just doing this, how many people are going to keep watching or listening after like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes of that? They're probably just going to stand up, leave the room, and be like, okay, this guy's pretty boring. So, the Alberti Bass pattern goes like this. It uses the bottom note of whatever chord you're in, so in this case it would be C, goes to the top note, and then to the middle, and then back to the top, like that, so it's bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top. Am I making you dizzy? So, bottom, top, middle, top. If you think of it this way, you could go beer, tastes, middle, what was it? Oh yeah, beer tastes mighty tasty. Beer tastes mighty tasty. Beer tastes mighty tasty. And if you're not legal drinking age in your country, then you'll just have to wait. I do not condone underage drinking. But beer tastes mighty tasty, like that, if that ever helps. If you can't remember it, you can just remember that line, beer tastes mighty tasty, and then you'll remember bottom, top, middle, top. Although somehow I'll doubt you forget it. Okay, so that would be the C major chord, but how would we change that if we wanted to go to, say, an F chord, which would be the 4th chord? So say we do this, right? We want to get to this, but you know, it's kind of far away, so what we're going to do is take this note and move it down to the C over here. So it's going to hop all the way over to this C. Now we're playing the F chord in this inversion. So as you see, it's really close to the C. So I'll go bottom, top, middle, top. And guess what? With this new inversion, it's still, this is the bottom, this is the top, and that's the middle, and that's the top. So that's all we'll do. And then we can go back to the bottom. Whenever you go back to the bottom, you're going back to the new, you're starting it all over again. So if you look at that, now let's add a 5 chord in here, like a 5/7 chord. So a 5/7 chord would be a G, well basically it'd be a G, a B, a D, and an F. But that's way too far away from the C, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, so I'll move the G over here, I'll keep the B, I'm going to take away the D actually, I don't need that, and I'm going to use the F. So it's going to look like this. So I could repeat that a couple times. So I could do this. And then you could add whatever else you want in there. So that is an Alberti bass pattern. So the obvious benefits to this are, one, it's a lot more interesting than going C chord, F chord, F chord, G, 7, back to C. Oh, that's so fun. No, it's kind of boring. It sounds sort of dry, sounds sort of, you know, yeah. I mean, it's okay if you're doing block chords and you don't know what you're doing, but by the way, this is more intended for basically intermediate piano players, so if you're not an intermediate piano player, you probably should go to an easier lesson where I'm, you know, introducing notes and stuff like that. Okay. This just sort of, you know, was an idea that popped into my head that, you know, people might want to learn about Alberti bass patterns, because no one seemed to know anything about it on the forum, so I was like, okay. That's usually where I get most of my ideas for my lessons now. Okay, so, so it does provide more interest to the piece, basically, and it also gives you, like, a whole bunch of notes. Say you want a flowing sound to it, instead of like a, you want it to sound more like it's going somewhere, it has some notes, it's moving, it has movement. Like, that will give you a lot more movement than this. Even if you do it faster, it just sounds like you're kind of freaking out of the piano. Right? I mean, actually that doesn't sound too bad, but I mean, I sort of like the Alberti bass sound to it as well. Alright, now, how do you play it? Good question, isn't it? So, for those of you who might be asking yourself, well, I'm convinced, I like this Alberti bass pattern, but how am I going to ever pull it off? I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. It's actually very easy. Very, very easy. So what I want you to do, pull your hand up. Just like this. You're just going to pull your hand up. Now, I want you to make sure, first of all, that you have nice curved fingers, and you should just feel really relaxed. Like, just kind of drop your hands into the keys. I have very little tension going on here. I feel absolutely relaxed. So if you don't feel absolutely relaxed, you feel tense anywhere up your arm, your hand, any finger joints, your wrist, that needs to go. So that's the first thing you have to do. Now the next thing is, you're just going to kind of tilt your hand and then stiffen just a little bit for the finger that you need to use. So as I do this, I'm just going to tilt my hand over like this. But I'm going to use very small movements because I don't want to do this. If you do big movements, that's no good. Good piano playing is all about using very small movements, efficient use of your energy and your motion. So as I go faster, you'll see the movements get slower and harder and harder to tell that I'm moving, but I'm actually moving it. You just can't tell very much because I don't want to do huge movements like this. But the basic idea is you start on your left side, go to your right side, go to your middle. So what you can actually do is pretend that the middle, like this part of your hand got chopped off or something. So now you only have this much of your hand. So now you go back over to the middle, go to the left side, go to the right, and then all of a sudden you have more hand again. So you can go back to that side, and then, oop, got taken away again. And then, oh, it's back. And then taken away. So that's usually what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Instead of like middle, top, or sorry, bottom, middle, bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, top, middle, top. That can actually get a bit confusing as well. But I mean, it's good if you, because if you're always going left, right, you might forget what it actually really is. So first you want to think bottom, top, middle, top. Then once you've got that down in your mind, you want to simplify it to just left, right, left, right, left, right. But if you only remember left, right, how are you going to remember that you have to hit those certain notes, right? Okay, so hopefully everyone's following by now, and if you haven't, just go back to the beginning and watch my ramblings from the start again, and if you still can't get it after, 5 times watching it, then just, hit me up on my forum and just slap me or something, virtually. And I'll be like, oh, what did you do that for? And I'm like, and then you'll be like, well, you didn't make it clear to me, Andrew. Why? How is this Alberti Bass going to help me and you can't explain it to me? Anyway. Okay, so hopefully I'm doing a good job here. Okay, so you're going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now the important thing to think is that your bottom side or your left side is always going to be the area where you're changing chords. So when you go this, now you have to think in a different chord pattern. It's always your pinky that's the bottom note that's starting the new. Now here's the interesting thing. So when I do this, when I hit this note, even though it's the same, I'm already thinking I'm in a different pattern now. So even the note sounded the same, it's the same, I'm thinking a different chord. I'm thinking C major, F major, C major, F major, like that. Okay? Now this works for all the different keys, and that's pretty much good, I think. I think that's pretty much about it. Another thing you can do to think about it is, if you forget it, just think of outsides first. Like, you're on one side, then you go to the other outside, then you go into the middle, and then you back to the outsides. Middle, outside, outside, middle, outside, 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 middle, like that. That's something else. Oh, I had some pop and now I'm burping. Wonderful, hey? Excuse me for my, flagrant, whatever you'd want to call it, rude burping on camera. Although it wasn't really belching, but yeah. Okay, so that's that. Now, what does it look like? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Can you find it? Dun dun. Nope. 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 Ooh. There we go. See that? That's Alberti Bass. And that's Alberti Bass. And that's Alberti Bass. Alberti Bass. Alberti Bass. Alberti Bass. Now that's not. You know why? Because that's just G, 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 G. So that would just be this. Whereas if we're going along here, that's. So it's changing chords pretty much. And you see, do you know where it's changing? There at the bottom, there at the bottom, there at the bottom, there at the bottom, there at the bottom. And look here, this is where it goes into this new thing. So you can always tell whenever you see something like this, that's Alberti Bass. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually move, I'll slide all these notes over in my head and I'll go, so that's A, C, E, so that's a chord right there. Now if we look over at our flats, there's an E flat and an A flat. So that means that, oh, where were we? Right here. That's A and E, so that would be an A flat major chord. And and that's how you'd figure out what that is. But it's all just condensed. It's broken apart. It's like taking, you know, some type of like cups or something and just making one small thing or one big thing into like smaller groups and just spreading it apart. And this adds more flow, more interest. It gives it a different kind of feel, and it sounds kind of cool. So yeah. I think that's about it. So yeah, that is my take and small lesson on Alberti Bass. Let's try to get this thing back in the... Come on, slide in. Yeah, there you go. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was helpful, and good luck with your new Alberti Bass skills. It's used mostly as an accompaniment, so you can now alter, instead of doing block chords, you can also have the option of throwing in an Alberti Bass pattern. So hopefully you'll use that new skill to impress your friends and colleagues. Or maybe you just want to impress yourself. You'll be like, ooh, look at that, we can do an Alberti Bass pattern now. So, yeah. Anyway, so things are going good here. Summer's upon me, or upon us here in Canada. We had a nice clear blue sky weather. I went out and played some tennis. I don't know if you guys know that, but I love tennis. It's lots of fun. I'm not much of a... I try to do the whole overhand serve thing, but I mean, like I've been playing for about 6 years, but sometimes I could get like hardcore shots where it's just like, and I'd go right over the net and I'd get aces and stuff because people couldn't even react fast enough. But then I'll be like, and more often than not it goes into the net, and then I just have to rely on my second serve. But yeah, I'm more like the kind of guy that like goes up at the net and just smashes it down. I'm all about trying to get the fast reflex play and then just pointing the ball to the other direction. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but yeah, so I like that. So I played some tennis and that was fun. And I'm also all about the spins. Like I'm always just like with the backhand, or I like just spin it and like take it off, cut it. So like I've actually gotten the ball over the net, and then it hit the ground and it actually bounced back over the net, so they couldn't get it. Yeah. No, not that good. Yeah, I'm just I'm an amateur that thinks he's awesome. Well, not even. But yeah. So yeah, things are going good, and I hope everything is going good with you guys. Your playing is getting better, and if you guys have any more ideas, you can always drop a line down to my, or you can hop over to my forum on my website, and you can, you know, if you register, then you can post some of your ideas of what you could want to see in future lessons. I actually listen a lot to the people on my forum because I'm pretty much, you know, I talk with them every day, and we're kind of getting close and stuff like that. And I also want to thank Maggie. I know her name's Maggie. I think it's Davis or something like that. That's her full screen name, but it's Maggie. She helped me out a big time by, she actually had all my videos saved and like converted into QuickTime format, and I just set up a thing on, I think it's called, what was it, Blip or something? Yeah, I think Blip. I don't know, Blip or something like that, I don't know. But basically what it does is it sends out an RRS feed, or RSS feed, and then you can use that to set up a podcast. So she helped me with that, which is so nice of her. And she's actually uploading the videos for me, so soon enough you should be able to find my videos on podcast, but I don't know, well, on iTunes, and you can download it as a podcast, but I'm not sure exactly how to find it yet because I haven't found it myself. So yeah. You'll just have to wait until my next video, and I should probably have figured it out by then. So yeah. Anyway, so you can now, or you should be able to very shortly download all my videos via podcast, and you should have them on your, be able to have them on like your iPod, and then you can watch the lesson on the iPod while you're like sitting at the piano, so you don't have to be like glued to the computer and then run back and forth kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully that makes things more convenient. Okay, anyway, Thank you very much, and I hope everything's going well with you guys. Okay, take care.